Howdy there. So yesterday I saw Kung Fu Panda 2. And I had a fun time, you know. It's Kung Fu Panda 2, how bad could it be? I'm giving it a 7. I think it might have been helped by my lowered expectations. I love the first Kung Fu Panda. I know I saw it twice in the theater. I know I rented it on Blu-ray. To the best of my recollection, I think I gave it a 9. And I even put it in my top 10, perhaps top 15 of 2008. So I really, really liked the first one. Loved the first one. And just something about the trailers just made me think, well, I don't know if they should be doing this. So I had lowered expectations, which always help when you expect the worst. Because if you do get the worst, then you're like, well, okay, I expected that. But if you don't get the worst, well, then you're pleasantly surprised. So I was pleasantly surprised. Again, a solid 7, though. A definite step down from the first Kung Fu Panda. It's about, I mean, it continues the adventure. Pretty much, very little time has passed since the first one. Po, the Kung Fu Panda, is now the Dragon Warrior, firmly a part of the Fantastic Five, Fabulous Five, Fearsome Five. I still don't know if I have that right. Protecting the valley from all sorts of evil. And a new enemy arises from the past. A peacock who might and does hold a key to Po's origin. So not only do we get this new adventure, but we get the origin of Po. I thought the film was fine. Most importantly, it's pretty hilarious. I thought the first one was very funny. This one is too. I enjoyed... I guess it's easier for me to talk about what I did not enjoy of the film. My main beef with the film is the lack of my favorite character from the first film. Maybe my second favorite character. Which is, and I'm not sure what animal he is. Some type of monkey, maybe a capuchin monkey, I'm not sure. Dustin Hoffman's character. Po's master. Favorite character in the first film. He's relegated to a background character here. In my opinion, he has 2 real scenes in the film. Now, those 2 scenes, he dominates, and he gets the biggest laughs of the movie for me in those 2 scenes, but again, he's their master. I thought he should have been a more prevalent character. I missed him. Though when I did see him, I was laughing. So, I'll take it, you know. Actually, if he's not my favorite character was the Turtle, the Grandmaster, from the first film. Now, he's the first character you see in this film, which made me extremely happy right off the bat. To see him, they replaced the regular DreamWorks logo with him, the turtle fishing from the moon. So that made me very happy from the get-go. The film does not look as gorgeous as the first. What sticks out in my mind from the first is not only was it hilarious, not only was it, you know, excellent action-packed, choreographed, you know, spectacularness, but everything looked beautiful. Vibrant colors. Again, everything, the cinematography was outstanding. Here, everything is much darker. I mean, much darker. They, you know, I think, wanted to make it look more cinematic. and less like a cartoon. And for me, when you're dealing with a cast of talking animals, there's no reason to reach for, you know, cinematic greatness. We realize it's a cartoon. There's no reason you shouldn't embrace the fact that it is a cartoon. But I think they try and make it look too real. Now, don't get me wrong, the animation is you know, cutting edge, obviously. At the end of the film, the climactic battle pretty much takes place in the rain or in a wet environment, and all of the fur, everyone is wet by the end of it. And all that wet fur, like, looked real. You know, I was totally convinced that I was looking at sopping wet talking animals. So obviously the animation is still par excellence, but the color's gone. You know, it was more drab, and I thought, well, maybe that suits more of the drab storyline, because he has to deal with a lot more drama and personal demons. So I thought that might be reflecting the attitude of the story. But again, I mean, I don't know if I want to call it a mistake, but they show clips from the first movie in this movie while he's like remembering. And again, I mean, I don't want to call it a mistake, but you can just see right there the difference in vibrancy. And it's like, I was wondering, why do you want to remind people what it looked like in the first go around, and now you know, now we realize how drab it is. You know, I don't think they should have done that. Because, I mean, I was already thinking it, and then they just show you the evidence right there. So it's just not as eye-poppingly beautiful, I thought. The story arc is familiar. It gets going, like, really quick. Again, it would probably be best to watch it, like, back-to-back with the first one, because there's very little setup to the main issue. I mean, to the main problem. And there was no real character development save for the bad guy. We are expected to have watched and know what the characters are like from the first one. There's no, I mean, I guess for Poe, but there's no real reintroduction of the character. Instead, it's focused on the bad guy, which is fine, because the bad guy is very good. I like the bad guy. Again, the Peacock, voiced by Gary Oldman. Other voices are Jack Black, Dustin Hoffman, Angelina Jolie, Jackie Chan, David Cross, Seth Rogen, Danny McBride. Great voice cast. I can't tell you who directed. I know it's a female, which I think is, you know, fantastic. We don't see too many female directors, and especially female directors of animation. I think that's at least noteworthy. I can't think of her name, but it's 3 names, and I'm Asian somewhat. I don't know who wrote it either. Sorry. But all the voice talent is outstanding. Again, the performances are very good. It's very well written in pieces. You know, there's a lot of action. It relies on that action. There's little bits of exposition and then an action sequence for quite some time. And again, the action is tremendous. Very well choreographed. Cool stuff. You know, very cool fights. Pretty much every single fight is cool. There's something that will, you know, make you giddy with each battle, I think. One of my favorite characters from the first film, and this one, is Poe's dad, the Goose. He's hilarious. He was hilarious in the first one. He's hilarious here. I'd say he's in this one with about as much equal time as he was in the first one, and he just owns it. You know, he owns every scene he's in. I think, again, he's hilarious. And that's what is the best part about this movie, and I don't want to deride it at all, is because I did have such a, you know, a fun time. There's something for your eyes to see, and it is very funny. I mean, I also saw Bridesmaids on the same day. Now, it's not as funny as Bridesmaids, but it's obviously a different kind of funny, and still very funny. So I had a very good time. One thing else I want to mention, there's the Peacock, Gary Oldman. His henchmen or cronies are, I think they're wolves. They might be hyenas, I'm not entirely sure. But the head wolf, his right-hand man, is hilarious. He was my favorite part of the movie. I think that's Danny McBride, but I'm not sure. And he was, I mean, again, it's my favorite part of the movie. He was very, very funny. So that I really liked. I mean, I had a great time. Lots of kids in the theater. I'd say it was primarily sold out. So lots of good crowd reactions. There was a kid who sat very near me that was taking me out of it a little bit and irritating me, but I feel when you see a kid show, on the weekends, you're pretty much giving up your right to have a perfect, easygoing movie experience, because if the theater's full of kids, you're going to have some irritation there. So I kind of almost felt like I would want to see it again, just in a couple weeks, like during the middle of the day, when there wouldn't be tons of kids there. And maybe I will, just because, okay, what he did was, with every funny line, with everything that got a big laugh from the audience, he would repeat it, and he did it every damn time. And while he was repeating the line to his mother, so his mother could laugh, I would miss, the second, the reply from the other character, or the second more subtle joke. So it was like, I just wish, I wanted the kid to shut up, but he did not. It's fine, again, you give up your right to have a pleasurable movie-going experience when you see a kid's movie with kids. Again, I had a fun time. It's Kung Fu Panda. It's definitely a worthy sequel. Is it as good as the first? No, it is not. Is it as funny? Maybe. I'd have to watch the first one again, and it was very funny. But the story moved too quickly. Things seemed to happen because they needed to. And again, I was bummed that Dustin Hoffman's character was barely in it. But again, I think about the Kung Fu Master. The Master usually isn't in the film all that much, of any Kung Fu film. So whatever, again, I argue with myself. I stand by my 7. I think it's a solid 7. Again, that's in no way a negative review. If you're a fan of animation, obviously you're going to see this film. If you're a fan of the first one, obviously see the film. Of course, see it on the big screen. Don't see it in 3D. Wasn't shot or filmed in 3D. So, you ask me, you're paying more for an inferior product. I saw it in 2D. Again, a fun time at the movie house. So that's Kung Fu Panda 2, a solid 7. Check her out. Thanks.